Our first question comes from a singer in Germany who describes the transition she's making from going from singing in chest voice only to singing in the mix, which is the term we use to describe the blending of chest voice and head voice. Now, in her situation, she's finding that as she goes to lean on the mix, that her voice is popping into falsetto. And so she either has this choice of singing with a strong chest voice or singing in a mixed voice that doesn't hold a lot of weight. Now, this is a very common situation for singers, and one which can take some time to resolve depending on how much time you spent singing in chest voice only. But the good news is that when you get it right, singing in the mix can become very intuitive, like it was before. And when you get it, you're going to love your voice again. You'll have much more range and your voice will be much less tired. There are many approaches one can take to strengthen the mix, but here I'd like to introduce a concept called coupling. Coupling is where one muscle group locks in with another. So you have one muscle going here and the other one goes along with it involuntarily, when in reality, in order to have a strong mix, we have to have independence of some of these different muscle groups. And so here we're going to talk about coupling between an active vocal cord and your jaw. So what we want to do is have an active sound and a jaw that's relaxed. Now what tends to happen with most singers as they begin to work with the mix is that they go to sing with an active vocal cord and the jaw locks, or they begin to relax the jaw and the vocal cord becomes flabby. So the key to strengthening your mix in this sense is to maintain an active vocal cord and a loose and relaxed jaw. So here we go. Let's get started with releasing the jaw. Begin by releasing the neck and allowing your head to move with the feeling of floating up. Now with your hand on your jaw, gently open and close your jaw with your hand. Continue to open and close your jaw with a smooth, even, and free motion. It should only open about half an inch. Don't overextend the jaw or stretch it like you might stretch touching your toes. The place where the jaw attaches to the skull is called the TMJ, or temporomandibular joint. Be careful not to strain this vital joint. By moving the jaw gently with the hand while keeping the neck free, you can begin to relax the jaw while breathing and singing. Now, as you continue to move your jaw open and closed with your hand, put your free hand on your stomach and begin to breathe from your diaphragm. Move your jaw 3 times for each inhalation and 3 times for each exhalation. Most people can learn to sing with their jaw released in about a week with daily practice. Now you need to be careful as you begin to work with the jaw release in the mix to make sure that you don't strain your jaw. Now if you feel any clicking or popping, or if anything at all feels uncomfortable or hurting, you should work with a professional voice instructor or an ENT. Now, beginning with some mixed sounds, let's just take this M sound and chew it a little bit. Notice that I'm continuing to chew as I breathe, and that's really important. In fact, let's just chew and breathe for a second. So now we'll begin to experiment with some M sounds, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have that active vocal cord and the jaw is able to move as we chew. Okay, here we go. Okay, now for many singers, when they begin to experiment with this active vocal cord, they'll be able to, again, carry it into their chest voice okay, but when they get into their head voice, they flip into falsetto. And remember, falsetto is actually a false or separate vocal fold. Now, if that's happening, then your vocal cord isn't really able to manage the air that you're sending to it. So here, we have to have a balance between how much active vocal cord we have and how much air. And again, if it's flipping, boo, then your vocal cord needs to operate in a less pressured environment. So here's some tips that you can use in order to have less pressure on your voice. Number one, don't use a glottal attack. If you're using that's a no-no. Okay, instead, use just a gentle beginning of so you're starting with a little bit of air or H and not a big heavy pressured glottal attack. Okay, here's a little more. If it's flipping still, check your larynx. Hand on your Adam's apple. Yawn a little bit. Feel the larynx a little lower. If your larynx is high, it'll clip off your airway. So we want to have the larynx a little bit lower. Okay, so here's just, kind of experimenting with an active vocal cord and a jaw that's moving. Now, let's say you have a song and you've got a phrase that you're going to hit a high note with, and every time you go to hit it, you either sing it heavy in chest or falsetto on the top. So here, I would like for you to just take your hand on your jaw, wiggle a little bit as you breathe. Notice I'm not moving it in an abrupt way, nor am I just pulling my lip with the jaw that's stiff. And so if we have a song and we're singing like, "Oh, baby," I might just check my jaw with my hand on the breath before it. "Oh, baby," and just make sure that it's loose. As I breathe in, I get a feeling of a relaxed jaw, which sets my muscle memory in the right place. And so you could do that, or you might try just the melody of the song with a vowel as you move your jaw, like this. Just keeping that awareness of what's happening with the jaw is the key. You might take several weeks to relax your jaw in this way, but the more you spend time being aware of that jaw tension, the more your mind will sort of naturally reconcile it. And as you give gentle suggestions that your jaw is relaxing, you're going to find that your mixed voice will naturally become stronger because you won't be coupled together with that active vocal cord and the tense jaw. But instead, you'll be able to make the subtle adjustments that your vocal folds need to make as you make the transition from chest voice to head voice.